Let's talk about something that often gets swept under the rug: prostitution. It's a topic that makes many people uncomfortable, and because of that, it's often ignored or oversimplified. But if we really want to understand our society and the value we place on each other, we have to look at the realities behind closed doors and beyond the headlines. Not the stereotypes, not the movies, but the real hidden cost that rarely makes the headlines, the toll it takes on human dignity. The stories we don't see are the ones that matter most, the ones that reveal the true impact on people's lives. At first glance, some people might say, "Hey, it's just a job, two adults making a choice." It's easy to frame it as a transaction between consenting adults, something that's nobody else's business. But is it really that simple? When we dig deeper, we find that the reality is far more complicated than the surface-level arguments suggest. Dignity isn't just a fancy word. It's the core of who we are, the sense that we matter and deserve respect. It's about being seen as a whole person, not just a body or a service to be bought. When someone's body becomes a product to be bought and sold, something fundamental changes. The line between person and object blurs, and the consequences run deep. For many who find themselves in prostitution, it's not about freedom or choice. It's about survival, desperation, or being forced into a situation with no other way out. The idea of choice often disappears when poverty, addiction, or coercion are involved. Imagine waking up each day knowing your worth is measured only by what someone else will pay. The sense of self becomes tied to transactions, not to dreams or ambitions. Every transaction chips away at self-esteem. Each encounter can leave a mark, a reminder that your feelings and boundaries are negotiable, not sacred. Every customer reminds you that your boundaries, your feelings, your soul are secondary to the money-changing hands. The act becomes routine, but the emotional cost is anything but ordinary. It's not just about the act, it's about losing the right to say no, to be seen as a person, not a commodity. The statistics are heartbreaking. Studies show high rates of trauma, depression, and even post-traumatic stress among those involved in prostitution. Most people in prostitution don't dream of that life. They're pushed by poverty, abuse, or circumstances beyond their control. Many are victims of trafficking, manipulation, or simply a lack of options. And once inside, the shame and stigma make it nearly impossible to leave. The world judges harshly, making it difficult to seek help or imagine a different future. Society looks away, or worse, blames the victim. Instead of offering support, we often turn our backs, reinforcing the isolation and pain. And here's the thing, every time we treat prostitution as just business, we ignore the pain behind the scenes. We miss the silent suffering, the stories that never get told, the trauma, the depression, the sense of being invisible. These are not just side effects, they are the reality for so many. It's a cycle that strips people of their dignity, their sense of worth, and sometimes their hope for a better future. Breaking free can feel impossible when the world refuses to see your struggle. So, next time you hear someone say prostitution is a victimless crime, remember, dignity is priceless. The cost is paid in silence, in lost dreams, and in the erosion of self-worth. No one should have to pay for survival with their self-respect. We owe it to each other to create a world where no one is forced to make that choice. Everyone deserves to be treated as a human being, not a product. Compassion and understanding can make a real difference. Let's start talking about the real cost, and let's do something about it. Change begins with awareness, but it doesn't end there. We need action, support, and a commitment to protecting the dignity of every person. Because when we protect human dignity, we all win. Together, we can build a society where everyone is valued, respected, and given the chance to thrive.